Let's talk about some popular myths. Have you ever heard any of these from anyone before? Chewing gum stays in your stomach for 5 to 7 years if swallowed. We only use 10% of our brains. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Juggling only happens in the circus. Guess what? Every one of those myths are false. Yep, every single one of them is a rumor. What about this one? The middle school years are the worst. Sadly, both parents and students have believed that last myth, and it can shape those years in a really negative way. Let's hit just 4 myths we hear most about the middle school years. You may have more myths you've heard about and believed about the middle school years, and it could be fun to have a conversation about the other ones as a family this week. First rumor or myth I've already mentioned, the middle school years are the worst. Now this is a flat out lie. The middle school years are some of the best years in the human life. Why? Because it's a season where students and their bodies and brains begin the process of what health professionals call adolescence. This is an amazing journey where every single student in the room will begin the process of leaving childhood and begin their journey to adulthood. Now, some of you have already started this process and some of you haven't, but get ready because it will happen soon. And it's awesome. This is where your brains and your bodies and everything in between begins to change. Adolescent actually means in between. The big reason that adolescence is so amazing is because of its uniqueness. It's not a mistake, it's not happenstance, it's not an individual to one kid or another, it's collective. We all have gone through this. This is a shared experience. This is a season where you'll start to see, hey, I'm good at this, or parents could be like, hey, you know what, my student is really good at this, or has this talent, or this interest. It could be in drawing, it could be in piano, it could be in cooking, it could be being a good listener, it could be yard work, or it could be sports. It could be a number of things. Now, this is a time when you'll start to lean into that, your talent and your interest, and see and go on a journey about how God made you so unique and so special. Another reason this is so unique is because this is a developmental process that is uniquely designed by God Himself when He created mankind on the 6th day of creation. The Bible tells us in Genesis chapter 1, it says, "Then God said, let us make mankind in our image, in our likeness." So God created mankind in His own image. In the image of God, He created them, male and female, He created them. So students, understand that this is a beautiful season, so make the most out of it. And parents, make sure you celebrate the changes that your students go through or will go through, and observe the things that excite your students as a talent or interest, and celebrate those. And students, ask your parents what it was like for them when they were in middle school. And parents, I challenge you to break out some old pictures and laugh and remember what it was like, and tell your kids all about your experience. And be honest, parents, you did not have it all together at their age. The second rumor myth, parents are stupid or uncool. It's amazing to me the number of shows and videos and movies where the lead characters are elementary school, middle school, or high school ages, and the parents and the adults are portrayed as clumsy, dumb, clueless, ignorant, or non-existent. And they portray the kids or the students as being fully competent, responsible, and thoughtful like an adult. Shows were like this when I was growing up, and they're still like this today. Students, stay connected to your parents during this season. I mean, really, because God has placed your parents or your grandparents or guardian or trusted adults in your life to protect and provide for you. Now, you're not always going to agree with them or do what they want you to do or do what they're asking you to do, but you do need to honor them and hear them out. In the Old Testament section of the Bible, God gives us 10 commandments that He expects everyone to live by. And these are actually called the 10 Commandments. And did you catch the part that He expects us all to live by them? The 5th commandment says this: honor your father and your mother, so you may live long in the land the Lord your God is giving you. Honor means to listen and obey your parents when you are young. And when you're older, like much older, you also gotta respect and honor your parents. Now, before students get all weirded out about the word honor and obey language, I have something for the parents too. We as parents have to work to respect our students as well. We have to be present in the life of our students, and we gotta be understanding. We need to be involved in their world / their friends. We have to ourselves grow close to God during this season. Now, this last one is the most important. It's huge because we all need God, and our students need to see that this is real in our lives. We as parents can pull from His strength, from His power, from His presence during the middle school and the adolescent years. And so your kids will see your faith and your dependency on God for themselves. This is massive for their faith development now and for the future. The third rumor or myth, well, everyone else is doing it, or well, everyone else has it. The middle school years are filled with pressure to fit in. Have those clothes, have the shoes, have the earbuds, have that iPhone, to wear this or that, and the list goes on and on. And sadly, if your student doesn't have all the things, then they are at risk of being the joke of their peers or bullied or made fun of because they don't have the things that everybody else has. Now, that doesn't mean that you go out and give them everything they desire, but it is a possibility of their world that they will need help navigating. As parents, we want our students to stand in confidence in who they are, but it's hard for them to do that at times. And if you think back, it was hard for us to do that when we were in middle school as well. Also, as parents, we feel the pressure of trying to fit in and give our students things that, or have access to those things that everybody else has. And even us parents can feel the pressure to keep up with what everybody else has or does. And also, we wrestle with questions and timing on everything from when they should have an iPhone or that social media, or allow them to dress a certain way, or to go to that party or spend the night with that person or that group, or watch those movies or shows, or have a TV in the bedroom. And we even struggle with how much time should they actually spend on the phone or computer or video games. The wise King Solomon tells us this in the book of Proverbs. He says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." When it comes to all the things that life has to offer our students, we need to go slow. And students, this is good for you as well. Both parents and student alike need this instead of thinking everyone else does this or has this. And instead, ask God what is the best decision to make for the family in all the things. Start with God and have open conversations with each other. Remembering, students, that we ultimately have to honor and obey our parents because God tells us to, and then we go from there. But be encouraged, because it's during the middle school years that you as parents get to rally and not look at what everyone else is doing, but take some time and actually map out the rhythms and the rules that you want for your family. Multiple times my wife and I have been presented with a dialogue, or at times a PowerPoint presentation or a whiteboard presentation on why we should change our minds or consider the argument that our kids are putting forth. And a few times it actually worked. They made a good case, and we agreed to some terms, and they were old enough, and as a family, we made the decision. But you have got to do it rationally and calm, and remember that your parents are the adults. They have a wiser perspective than you have. And if they say no, you need to hear that and respect it, because it's just a no for now, not forever. The fourth and last rumor or myth: my student is way more mature than every other student in their life. Now, they may have signs or times of being mature, but those may be few and far between. Also, that's a heavy load or expectation or label to put on them to carry. It can also lead them to view themselves as better than others, which is not the heart of Jesus. Because remember, they are in such a high season of change and development. And if we as parents say, praise, or expect perfection or maturity, then we can run the risk of your student learning how to fake it or front their way through life, or have a breakdown trying to live this unrealistic expectation set by their parents. Students, you're not perfect. You're going to make mistakes. That's another reason why adolescence is so amazing, because it's a season or buffer where you can mess up and learn what to do or not to do. Parents, patience is required on this one. In the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, it says, "Fathers, do not exasperate your children. Instead, bring them up in the training and the instruction of the Lord." Now, Google defines exasperate as irritate and frustrate someone intensely. That's a heavy verse for me as a father. Many times I lose my patience with my kids, or my expectations don't fit their development quite yet. And this verse is pivotal for the adolescent years for us parents, especially for us fathers, as we are raising and shaping our children. There you have it, just 4 myths and rumors about the middle school years. It's also a time of such change and development. It's a time where parents can help students navigate their ever-changing emotions. It's a time where parents can remind students what they are feeling is normal and everyone is going through it. And to my students, this is truly one of the greatest seasons of your life. Change is going to happen. It is good and beautiful, and God loves you so much, and He wants you to walk with Him and grow in Him and allow His Son Jesus to be the leader of your life. And myself and the Max Life team are beyond excited and honored to walk with you through this amazing season of the middle school years. You are never alone.